Hello and welcome to the IGN UK Podcast. My name is Gav Murphy and today I'm joined by the lovely...
Alex Simmons.
And also the also lovely...
Thank you.
Equally
Daniel.
lovely.
My own name, Daniel Cooper. Thank you.
How are you guys doing? This is the first one after Christmas.
Yeah, it's good.
Apart from the one we pre-recorded that went out on New Year's Day.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. I don't count
Do you
that.
ruin the illusion? Ruin the illusion.
Well, they know we're not recording on Christmas Day or New Year's Eve.
Why not?
Well, that's a good
New
point.
Year's Eve is technically a working day.
Is it?
Yeah.
Shit.
Were you not in work?
Yeah? I was doing...
I didn't see it.
Doing the stuff. But what did you all get for Christmas? I think one thing we all got was Lego.
Yeah, I got loads of Lego.
What did you get?
I got Kylo Ren shuttle. I got the Emperor's throne room. Little
Sounds
Wally.
like a toilet, doesn't it?
Emperor's throne room. Yes. That's how his face melted.
Just got the Imperial Guard holding
Imperial
it
Guard roll.
a loo roll on his staff.
I just pictured the Emperor like getting up after a really long shit and like his legs have gone to sleep. He's like, shit.
I didn't know what you were going to say there. Just all down his legs. Do you prefer the toilet roll facing against the wall, like the sheet?
No, it's got to be near
It's
you.
away,
It's gotta be
isn't
near
it?
you. Yeah.
Some monster said prefers facing the wall. It's like, why?
monster's that?
Unhygienic. Unhygienic.
The Emperor.
Not that it's much
That's
more
when
hygienic.
you know the dark side is the
Do you
other way around.
ever sometimes fold the edge so it's like you're in a hotel?
So I've got a cleaner who does that.
Shut up.
And my daughter thinks it's the best thing in the world because like she comes every Thursday and it's Scarlett's highlight. In fact, she won't go to the toilet downstairs because she wants to keep the point in the toilet roll for as long as possible.
Oh, does she know she can do it herself?
I don't know. I did say that I can fold it
What
for you.
what happens?
Not the same.
What happens when she goes to a hotel that has no other toilet? Sink.
Well, to be honest, we don't stay in posh hotels as a family.
Okay.
So we're kind of Premier Inn.
Your home is your hotel.
And you don't get pointed toilet rolls in.
Don't they
Do you
point them
not?
in Premier Inn?
I thought they might do.
No.
Interesting.
Mm.
What Lego did you get?
I also got the Wally set, which I haven't built yet, which I need to. I got a Lego voucher, so I bought a lot myself.
Nice.
I got the little Resistance Fighter, which is Series 3 of the Microfighters thing.
Yeah.
Ray's Speeder.
Awesome.
And then also the new set, which is called Attack on Hoth. Or is it Hoth Attack?
Okay.
One of those. Basically, it's one of the cannons that you get with the little Han Solo with his kind of big Parker on and stuff.
I want that. That sounds really good.
Yeah, I think it might be inspired by Battlefront because they've done a few sets like that. Bizarrely, I bought a very similar set off eBay, which came out in 2012. I bought that like 2 months ago, and then they announced that.
That's a chat we should have one week. Favorite coats in fiction.
Yeah.
Han Solo's Park is pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
Last year, I mean, I think I banged out about it on this podcast, but TV just had the best jackets. Like Narcos has amazing jackets.
You did talk about Narco jackets.
Quite a lot, yeah.
So what did you get?
I just got Kylo Ren ship. That's what I got, and I really liked it. But did you watch Inside Lego at Christmas?
I think we all did.
Yeah, it's so good. Like when they're talking about like how they came up, like going to the sets and stuff like that. It's really, really good. But yeah, we were talking something yesterday. Like you noticed like the wings on Kylo Ren's ship don't actually move like they do in the film.
Yeah, well, I didn't realise that. Obviously, they kind of fold out, don't they?
Yeah, which is it's a really cool mechanic, and it's got a cool little like lever and thing to it. And it looks when you do it, it looks really sweet.
Yeah,
but yeah, it doesn't. That's not what it looks like in the film at all.
Which I think is a real shame. But then you explain.
Well, I
obviously
assume it's because they like obviously security is really tight around the Star Wars production. I think they were invited really early on because it takes a long while to like develop these sets and actually just make them, package them, distribute them in time for Christmas. Or in time for September when they were released. So I think they might have been shown a model. It's like, oh, this is what Kylo Ren, the bad guy ship's going to look like.
Yeah.
And they've not seen animatics of it actually moving or any of the like actual visuals, like the special effects work, because some of it might not have even been done at the time.
Yeah.
So they just go, oh, the rigid winds, they might not have known they've moved out. Yeah. Similarly, there's an entire Snowspeeder set. Yeah. From a sequence that got cut from the movie.
Yeah.
Well, obviously they thought that was going to be one of the main vehicles. They're like, look at this big action sequence, all centered on these snow speeders. Yeah. Everyone will want one of them. Yeah. It's like it's really weird. In the run up to Force Awakens, kind of forgot after the movie. Until like a week later, Empire revealed a new character that was in the movie called Constable Zuvia. Yeah. And it was one of the first action figures. One of the first action figures released for the movie as well. He's nowhere in the movie.
Yeah.
Nowhere in the movie.
You'd be gutted if you were there, wouldn't you?
Because he's not in the movie, but he only exists in toy form. What's the canonical status of that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless he's
what's the
make
canonical
a
status of deleted scenes? Because even though the Snowspeeder scene isn't in the movie.
No,
it does happen.
Yeah. You can only take what you've actually got, but then because
they pull up, they pull up in a snowspeeder.
Yeah,
unless I guess the question is, did they actually shoot those scenes, or were they just kind of part of the original?
I think they might have shot the snowspeeder scene. I think they might have shot a scene where Kylo Ren goes onto the Millennium Falcon,
but not. They must have shot the stuff with the whatever his name is.
Zuvio. Oh, definitely, yeah.
Right.
Apparently, when you see Rey accosted by the two guys trying to get BB-8, Constable Zuvio then comes on the case, and apparently, I think I'm right in saying, she doesn't meet up with Finn until like the day after.
Right.
But the way they've cut that scene, or they reshot it, like it's a really clever bit of editing if they meet instead of reshooting it. And they like it marries up.
If you think about what actually happens in that scene, so spoilers if you haven't seen it, but if you think about what happens in that scene where he rushes over to like save her, but then he stands back. So actually he's not in that scene. So that's actually quite clever.
His reaction works in the context of that, but it could be equally in reaction to something else where she's like helping herself, because that defines her character for a large part of that film, just doing stuff by herself. So it could kind of play against a lot of things.
Oh, smart. But yesterday something was leaked. Lego wise, what was it, Daniel?
Yeah, so it is a set that's coming out in February, already rumored because Lego's official account tweeted a picture of Adam West Batman a few months ago. It is a full 1960s Batman Batcave and Wayne Manor. You get loads of minifigs. You get Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, as well as Batman and Robin. You get Alfred, I think Batgirl, and then loads of villains, including the Joker and Riddler. And you get the Batcopter, you get the Batbike, and you get the Batmobile.
The classic 60s Batmobile.
That's the thing that I love the most about it, because I didn't see that until I saw the sort of other picture that was leaked of it. That looks amazing.
And also the thing that I love about it is that you've got Wayne Manor up the top, and then the kind of little bat pole that goes down that leads down to the Batcave. It's an awesome set.
They're really good at making, like the DC ones are really good, like the stuff that we've got. They're really good at making play sets that I actually enjoy, because usually I can't be arsed with play sets.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of play sets.
The ones that they make actually would work by themselves, or if you were a kid and you want to play with them, you could actually do
them
as well.
What's particularly cool about this, and recently the huge Ghostbusters HQ they released, is because they are so successful now and so big, and they can charge a premium, it's like they can make these sets that are, don't appeal to children. Like, no kids want really Batman 60s Lego.
No. Or that's not the Batman. Like I was saying to you, like Ghostbusters, they're going to be more au fait with the new Ghostbusters coming out later this year, rather than the classic Ghostbusters that we all love.
But
also, £275 for the Ghostbusters.
Alex, set. I don't think you're like ascribing enough value to a Rick Moranis minifig.
I bet you. I haven't checked on eBay. I bet they are a fortune on eBay right now. People always do that. Buy the expensive sets, strip the minifigs out, flog them separately.
Well, I saw we kept seeing the Millennium Falcon on eBay and stuff like that. I was monitoring it, and I think to buy was like 160 quid. The Force Awakens one, but with no minifigs in it, it's like 80 quid you can pick it up for. So if you don't care about having the minifigs, then
it's the same with the tumbler, because you get that exclusive Joker.
Okay.
That's super expensive.
Yeah.
You might as well just buy the tumbler. Quite frankly.
You said you've actually been buying minifigs, right?
Not minifigs themselves. No, I've been buying the sets. Again, this is all tying into my Lego vision, which we'll talk about momentarily.
Okay, cool. So we thought then we would talk about what is if like design and money were no object, what would be your dream Lego set, Alex?
Okay, so it's a dream, but I'm going to turn it into reality if my wife lets me. That's quite a big
I don't think Martin Luther King qualified it. Like, I have a dream for the future of the black people if my wife lets me.
Yeah.
So one of my favourite scenes throughout the whole of the kind of Star Wars films is obviously the Hoth attack scene. And there's loads of stuff. There have been, 4 AT-ATs, maybe even more. I think I've got 3 snow speeders alone, different types of snow speeders, and now I've got 3 of the different kind of gun cannons. But what I want to do is build everything together and create one huge diorama.
So you're talking about making your own?
Well, nobody else has built it. So the custom Lego scene is amazing. There's a 10,000-piece Millennium Falcon, so it's twice the size of the UCS Falcon that came out. And not only does it have the detail of obviously the kind of the living quarters and the cockpit, if you take off all the tops, it's got all of the wiring, and it's basically rigged up. It's lit everywhere. It's insane. I think the people that made it are called Titan or something. Anyway, Google Titan Millennium Falcon Lego. It's incredible. Anyway, back to this. So using the Lego AT-AT as your kind of base size.
Okay.
Because I've got 2 AT-ATs at home, so they would be. So I need a third for them to kind of be attacking over here. You'd have Rebel Base, And it would be all of the interior of the Rebel base. So you'd have kind of all the kind of control center with the screens. You'd have snow speeders and the X-Wing and obviously the Falcon over there. Somewhere over there, you'd have the Wampa Cave and bringing the whole of Hoth together.
That's good.
But that's going to cost...
You need an extra room.
It's probably a loft project.
Yeah, that's it. Like, that's your train set.
Yeah. And I think
once it's built,
probably over time,
we just hang out in it. You hang out in it.
You're like, there it is.
I guess it's
never finished. You can always buy more white bricks.
Yeah. It's a bit like the city in the Lego movie, right? That kind of thing. Imagine that. It would be amazing.
That would be so good.
So that's my dream. But I don't want somebody to make it. I want to make it.
Yeah, definitely. I think you definitely should make it. Like,
it's just going to be like your life's work now.
Yeah, I can. Well,
you need a project.
Hopefully it's something I'll achieve before I die. How about that?
Well, you should get...
the same way the people on the Lego program make giant like cakes for Christmas.
Big white cake in the...
I'd rather... This is more timeless.
A big white monolith in your living room. That's Christmassy.
I saw this morning, there is a job going on Lego for like designer in the UK.
Really?
Yeah. Just send them your Hoth ideas.
But it's one of those things that like Lego is something I enjoy doing in my spare time.
Yeah.
And if you start doing it as a job...
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it won't strip away some of the fun, but I feel like it might.
This bloody job has.
Yeah. Actually, Random, we had some devs in yesterday, and one of that, we started talking about Lego, because obviously we've got a lot of Lego here, and they were saying that they were talking to some people who worked at Lego, and apparently, like, obviously they hadn't seen the show or anything, but it was like, it's corporate as hell.
I'm
like,
sure, yeah.
Like, what, I wanted to believe it's like a, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory type thing. But no, it's not.
I bet, like, within it, maybe there's pockets of fun jobs. Like if you're a junior designer and you just like make the snow spit, that's probably not too bad.
Yeah.
But I bet every like marketing, like rights acquisition and stuff like that, they must have been ruthless to get all these licenses over the last 10, 20 years.
Yeah. Do you think they're evil?
I don't think they're evil.
No.
I'm not going to say that because they were just being declared one of the 10 most powerful brands in the world.
Knock at the door.
There's a little red dot on you.
Imagine that.
There's a little red brick.
A little Lego sniper.
You got a red brick on you, mate.
All right, what's your dream Lego set?
Mine says Mega Blocks on the running order. Are you having a laugh, mate?
I didn't write it.
You having a laugh?
That's me.
You having a laugh?
Banter.
What do you think I am? Right, imagine it. Okay. Jurassic Park Visitor Centre. Okay.
Nice.
So,
I didn't put any Jurassic Park in mind because there's so many designs out there, but this is a good
imagine
one.
the exterior. So you've got all like little like turrets and like little cone things that has on the roof.
Yeah.
You got little tracks. So you get two vehicles that come along. The really nice green, yellow, and red Jeeps.
Yeah.
Inside you can open it up. So inside you'd have like little like dioramas. So you'd have the kitchen with the Raptors with Lex and Tim.
Yeah.
Nice.
You could have the central atrium where you've got like the fossils hanging. Because there's on Lego Ideas somebody submitted like a fossil design for like museums, which they quite like those educational tinge sets.
Yeah.
So they look quite good. You can make skeletons quite well through Lego. And then that's where you could have the T-Rex and like the banner.
Yeah. And that means you could have Velociraptors in there as well.
Yeah, coming down. You can move them about.
Also, like
that's the point. It's the toy.
Is it going to be like finished, or is it going to be like with the scaffolding? Like
no, it's going to be
the scaffolding in JP1, isn't there? JP1.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Scaffolding. Well, I'll give that to the design. I'd want to see drafts of it.
Okay.
And then I want it to be like encased, so like if the whole back swings open in two parts, kind of like the Quickie Mart.
Oh,
so you can close it all up, and it looks like the visitor
center. And then it's a standalone.
And then also you can have the bit with like the lab.
Yeah.
Where you've got little Henry Wu and a little egg.
Yeah.
And then you've got the ride where they all sit down and they can watch Mr. DNA. And you also get Mr. DNA in the set, who's made out of studs and little like flat wands.
Nice.
He'd be quite big.
Yeah, it'd be massive. It'd be bigger than the visitor centre. Let's not focus on this detail.
I like it.
That's it.
That sounds really good.
But that's what I like about the Sandcrawler as a set, is that it all closes up and looks like a kind of display piece.
Yeah.
But then you open up and then it's kind of more of a play set.
Oh, that's quite cool.
Which is cool. But again, that's 250 quid.
That's a lot. So my one is Camp Crystal Lake from the Friday 13th series.
So when you said Camp Crystal Lake, I thought it was genuinely a Lego Friends set, because that's the kind of thing that you expect. Whereas these teenage girls go, I don't know, kayaking across.
We're like a dog in a pram.
Yeah. So I thought,
fair enough.
So I thought you could have, because it's not that much. Like as you said, like these.
I thought it's not much you can build in it.
No, because as you said, like these sets are being made. Like kids probably don't want like a 1960s Batman set. So why aren't they going the other way with it and gone right? If we're gonna make adult stuff, we're gonna make fully adult stuff.
Like people with severed limbs and blood spurting everywhere.
Not necessarily that.
Imagine like an Alien set with like chest bursters and stuff like
that. Nostromo.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be awesome. UCS
that would be
Nostromo.
cool.
Oh my god, yeah. So you come in, you've got the welcome sign, you've got the Crystal Lake, Camp Crystal Lake welcome sign.
Yeah.
With like the little bits of there'd be a lot of trees in that. That's like its own little thing, which leads on then to the main cabin.
Yeah.
Which you get all.
It really sounds like a Lego Friends set. It really does. Even like when you're describing it.
Which leads to a nice jetty.
Okay. It's very bitty, very bitty.
Nice jetty.
No, but it's one of those things where like like the what was I thinking of?
Like the Ewok set.
Kind of, but more like the Jurassic World. The main like raptors or the Indominus Rex enclosure. Yeah. It's kind of like that. So everything's a little bit close up. You can open it up and it's wide, but then you can also put it together. Okay. And then you also get a little rowing boat that you can put back next to the jetty. But this is where it really comes in its own because you get a lot of minifigs with it.
This is where it comes into its own.
Yeah. So you get Mrs. Voorhees.
Spoiler.
I'm not spoiling a 1980 film.
You spoil that movie now.
You get Alice, who's the main survivor of Friday the 13th. You get Jack, who's played by Kevin Bacon. I like that.
Yeah.
Crazy Ralph is in a couple of Friday the 13th. So then the Jason ones, you get disfigured like young Jason, so he can come out and like grab the boat. So he'll be hanging onto the boat.
Yeah.
Which would be quite good. Nice little diorama for you. You get Sheet or Potato Bag Jason. But then that comes off.
So these can all these different Jasons can exist at the same time.
2 different Jasons exist at the same time. Baby Jason.
Baby Jason.
Baby Jason and
Potato Bag,
but that comes off and you can put a hockey mask on then if you want.
So you
you can.
alternate.
You can.
Oh, he's
you get that.
smashing up all the Friday the 13th films.
And like the space one as well.
Space one.
No, not the space one. That's not in my design at all. But that's my one. Let's get it made. Have you seen some of the stuff on Lego Ideas that's been made? That's gone through this year. So it's in the stage.
Discussions.
Yeah, the best one is a giant Indominus Rex, which looks really, really good.
Jurassic Park vehicles actually got through.
Has it? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Victorian Christmas Village. It's a hard sell now.
But like we were looking at some of the old UCS sets, like the Darth Maul bust, which is just horrendous. Like how it ever got like through like approval.
Or the little Yoda one where he looks like a little Norwegian troll.
Yeah.
Because without his teeth.
Because
I would want to build a bus. That seems like it'd be really
because it
like
it doesn't flatter it either. Like it doesn't do anything. It sits there. It's all obviously it's blocks. So it's all kind of jaggy. So it works for more kind of mechanical things. It just doesn't work.
Do you ever get one of those 3D puzzles?
No, I didn't actually.
Like 3D jigsaw. I just remember when we talked about that. I had Darth Vader one. But you had to like layer like cross sections of him and around a pole.
Oh no, I don't think I had that.
Did you actually do it?
Yeah.
Well, there we are. Those are our dream
There
Lego
wasn't
sets.
much more to that, I admit.
Let's get them made. So let's move on to some of the good stuff this week. We have been watching Making a Murderer. I said watched. It's done. It's a documentary series that's on
Well, I haven't
Netflix.
seen it.
You haven't.
I'm going to.
Which is why we're not going to spoil anything. It's really, really good. It's one of these things where you see a story and the more it unfolds, you can't believe that it's actually happened in real life. And also, as a consequence, it's made a horrible consequences to like a lot of people's lives. It's just, like you're watching and you think it's hard to watch a documentary and not. You're obviously getting all the time. You're going to get one big side. So you're kind of like trying to think, oh well, there's obviously another side to this, but I don't even know what other side could be to this. Unless all the stuff that he's accused of, he actually did. But you come out of it really thinking he's probably innocent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything because I think anything's a bit of spoiler.
Okay, yeah, but you should watch it. It's all on Netflix right now. Lots of people are talking about it.
Watch it was kind of the main talking point over Christmas, which is weird because I hadn't really heard of it at all before that, and then suddenly everyone's speaking about it.
Yeah, I think it's just
like Netflix has a habit of that. It's kind of like their certainly pedigree in the last kind of 12 months has been exceptional. I can't think of a duff show that they've done.
But then sometimes you do hear, like I guess it's easier to market something like Daredevil and stuff. But I felt like that was everywhere.
In the run up to it.
Whereas this, it just kind of came out. But I think that kind of happens with like true crime stuff where people like latch onto it. Like what happened with Serial. like a couple of episodes went out, and then it became just this giant thing then that everyone was into because you want to find out. It's just that kind of story, isn't it? Where you want to see what happens at the end of it.
Yeah.
And with murder stuff and true crime stuff, I think that's really big. But as you haven't seen it, and as maybe people haven't seen it, so we don't want to spoil it. What we have done is come up with a list of stuff that you could watch if you have finished Making a Murderer, or if you haven't watched it, you can watch these after you've watched Making a Murderer, or watch it before. It doesn't matter. So
here's some stuff that exists.
So here we go. Krupa, could you want to take one of these each with each other?
So the other thing is, I've not seen Making a Murderer. I've not seen any of these either. So,
really?
But no, not
awesome.
a single one. So, but I'd be well up for kind of getting into the kind of genre because, as you say, it sounds interesting.
There's some really good stuff out there. So I put Serial Series 1 at the top because that's something that everyone can get for free straight away, and it's still really, really good listen. Like you said, you listened through twice. Did you say that?
No.
Oh, I was talking to somebody who just recently re-listened to it and said, you pick up a lot more of it, and it's a story of a high school teen who's imprisoned for murder.
Yeah.
And years later, they sort of uncover. This journalist goes back to sort of re-examine the case and things like that. It kind of like gripped everyone like last year. Everyone kind of went bonkers for it. The second series out at the moment, it's very different, but the first series is still really good. And what did you think of the ending? Without spoiling,
Of Serial?
yeah. Like, do you think it was satisfying? Like, I actually quite liked the ending. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people thought it was going to be.
Okay, I think this feeds into a bigger issue with a lot of these documentaries and films and projects.
Yeah.
Is you watch them and there's moments where you go, that is an amazing moment.
Yeah.
I would not believe that if it was scripted,
Yeah.
but I have to believe it by virtue of it being real.
Yeah.
Where it deviates from that expectation is the ending.
Yeah.
Because real life doesn't have endings.
Yeah,
Like real life is messy and it's like interminable. These things go on for years just because like a lot of these documentaries are made over like 10, 20 years or they're like dipping into archives. So it's easy for someone to come along and go, right, we can apply.
You can make a narrative.
We can make this a first act, second act, third act. But then the third act is where it untangles because it's like, things are still not finished, or we don't know the answer. Like one I'd add to this, even though it's not a documentary, it's a film, but it's very influenced by documentaries, I think, is Zodiac.
Yeah. Oh, that made it on there.
And brilliant David Fincher film. It's long. Have you seen it?
No.
It's absolutely brilliant. It's intense. Great performances from Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, tracking a serial killer in San Francisco. You should watch it on the flight when you go to San Francisco.
I'll do that.
And it's really dark, but it's about a real life case that was never solved.
Yeah.
And it's just, that is with that one, that's not a spoiler.
No.
Yeah.
And it's just like
It's super close to like source
maddening.
material as well. Like they don't. It barely goes off in like any Hollywood directions really.
Right.
Because like the main guy who Jake Gyllenhaal plays was really involved with the making of the film. There's even like a giant documentary that they put together as well about all the stuff, like just to say, look, this is real stuff on the Blu-ray as well.
Actually, with a lot of these things, like listen to Serial.
Yeah.
Not, when any of these things, like, drives me mad thinking that killers are out there, you don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Like, people do get away with murder. People literally get away with murder. And they're out there.
Yeah.
I don't think I could be a detective. Just not knowing would drive me insane.
Yeah, it'd be bonkers. Well, that's like there's a really the end. I think even though the ending of Zodiac isn't like a perfect like Hollywood ending, it is still really, really good ending because it's just like it's really well acted and what happens in the end is really good. Some other stuff, actually, a documentary on here that does have a pretty good ending is The Imposter.
Yes.
Which basically a teenager goes missing in Texas and turns up in Spain or France. Like no idea how this guy got there, but it's basically turns out it's not a spoiler because they chuck this out right at the beginning of the film, but it's basically the guy who they pick up is not him, is not the child at all.
Right.
He's like a French Algerian adult who was not born in Texas, but has made like his life impersonating people, and he's like this big fraud.
Right.
But that does have a kind of good ending because.
Do you think they'll ever find Madeleine McCann?
Nah.
That should be a documentary.
I know.
I bet we could make that. They just released it.
I don't think we should make
We do IGN first.
I don't think we should make
No,
that.
but like they've just released a book, haven't they, as well?
Have they?
It's really awkward. It's like it reminded. I saw a picture of her pose. It reminded me of Gone Girl.
Yeah.
Because they're posing for a press picture of this book, and it's
Yeah.
obviously so many years later. Obviously, you still be devastated you lost your child, but it's this weird moment. And
Is it
obviously,
like
loads of
10 years
people.
now?
accuse them of doing stuff, or being involved, or being complicit, or having more information than they've said. It's that awkward moment where they're posing and they're not smiling, but it's like it seems weird for them not to be smiling. Cause,
the whole thing about that
would be so much weirder if they were smiling.
Is that she has now been with her captors longer than she's been with her family. Oh, which is
if alive.
If alive, yes.
She's not alive.
For God's sakes.
Oh my God. We've talked about the jinx quite a lot on here, so I don't think we should talk about it anymore. But like we did an entire thing like on the TV podcast why you should watch the jinx and why the jinx is the best TV show of the last year. But some other stuff like that, the Thin Blue Line is not the Rowan Atkinson one.
What?
That comes highly recommended, and it's based on real life.
And that's true crime. Do you know the name of Rowan Atkinson's character in that?
No.
Can you remember? Inspector Raymond Fowler.
Ooh.
Written by... What was the show written by?
Was it Ben Elton?
Ben Elton.
Yeah.
Not Richard Curtis? I think it was just Ben Elton.
Yeah. I used to watch that.
Awful program.
It was awful. It's just, what was that one detective who, like, all he used to do was just innuendo. He was like, remember, your cock up, my ass.
Constable Kevin Goody?
Is that what it was?
I don't know.
You know too much about it. The Thin Blue Eye is not.
It's not
the Rowan
that.
Atkinson thing. No, it was an Errol Morris documentary about a guy who's in prison for 12 years for killing a police officer, and it basically it looks into like the trial and how bad the trial went. Juries cannot be trusted, man.
Right.
Like, if I was on trial for something and I looked at the jury,
juries can't be trusted.
They cannot be trusted.
Because I think there's 12 random people in certain degrees, and obviously they eliminate certain people on certain grounds. But I was watching some of these things over the last year, speaking to the people who are watching it, it's like, I know for a fact, just see it in like The Office or just regular life. Yeah. You have bigger characters than others. Yeah. People are more argumentative than others. People who care more than others. Yeah. You get 12 people together. One or two people with strong conviction could sway other people. Some people just want to go home at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We play,
some people.
We play a board game called The Resistance now and again at work, and like that is. Did you played it, right?
We did, yes.
And that's perfect because the amount, if you can just, like, I can turn Rory easy. Like,
calm down.
Like,
calm down. You're not all that, mate.
I could turn Rory definitely that way. But also, like in those games, like I don't know, I could just because Rory's just nice and he's like, I don't know, innocent.
You're thinking of a really nice way to say gullible.
Yes. Well, I think Rory would admit that he's quite
credulous.
Gullible. Yeah. No. But like, I think
easily impressionable.
Yeah, I think if I was on a jury,
that's why I murdered all those kids.
I would. If I was on a jury, I'd find it really hard to have my mind swayed by somebody else other than the case. I think I'd be good on a jury.
Right.
Have you ever done jury service?
No.
Have you?
No.
Do you think you'd be good?
But I think the problem with you is
I'd stick to my guns.
You'd be quite like locked onto something, and you wouldn't have a particularly open mind.
No, I would. I definitely would because of all this shit that I've seen.
I think you'd end up going in there knowing what you're going to go for before they even said a word.
No, you do make up your mind very quickly.
I do, but because of all this stuff that I've seen on different documentaries where the juries just definitely cannot be trusted, I'd be going in there. Like, literally, I'm blank slate, guys. Impress me. Tell me what you think.
I don't believe that for a second.
I honestly would. Because
I reckon you go in like that as soon as he or she walks in.
Guilty!
Did it.
Yeah, like stand up like, you don't it. Sit down.
Did it. You don't even know what they did. Yeah. Did it.
Okay.
Look at his eyes, is all I'm saying. Look at his eyes.
At his eyes. Another like deeply sad documentary where people are accused of doing something, and it's quite, I mean, clearly not. It's Paradise Lost, the child murders at Robin Hood Hills, which is a documentary about 3 kids get killed and 3 sort of goths get blamed for it. And there's basically no evidence at all, other than they're a bit weird, aren't they?
Really?
Yeah, it's terrible. And it's a really, really sad documentary. And at the time,
do I want to watch these?
Bring it back up a bit. At the time, it was the only film Metallica let use one of their songs. That's changed now, but
Mission Impossible 2 also uses a Metallica song now.
Yeah, so
there you go, sold out.
It's great end, isn't it? Also, a different kind of thing, not a documentary, but appropriate adult. Did you guys see this?
I've not seen appropriate adult.
It was like a 2-part.
You watch a lot of television, man.
I watch a lot of crime stuff.
Yeah,
just
for when you get that call
perfect
up.
Crime. He's like that. You watch that film with Sandra Bullock? How to like do the perfect crime? And it's about 2 like teenagers watching loads of stuff to try and plot the perfect crime.
Yeah,
you doing that?
I might be.
Are you doing that?
You want in?
I'm up for it.
All right, wicked.
Do you think you could
It's basically him going up to Roy going, kill that person.
Do you think you could commit the perfect crime?
No, I would be rubbish.
Would you?
Yeah, I would be rubbish at killing someone.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it.
Would you be good under interrogation?
I don't know.
No comment.
Nice. But appropriate adult was like a BAFTA-winning sort of docudrama, mall drama about Fred and Rose West. Dominic West.
I've seen this. I thought it was called that.
Yeah.
I would have called it Fred and Rose.
Yeah. But it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's really good.
It's very good. Dominic West's performance is great.
Fantastic.
And there's a bit early on where his dialogue is taken almost verbatim from actual police tape.
Yeah. Right.
Where he just talks about killing someone in a very matter-of-fact way.
Yeah.
In horrible fashion. And it's just chilling because it's so... Yeah, and
have you listened back to that tape? Like, it's bonkers when you listen to it.
It's
because he's just talking, and then he obviously goes into like really horrible detail about the people they're killing. You just like, you miss it because you're like,
because you're not listening, because he's not like delivering it in this grandiose way, and there's not music going.
Yeah.
He's just like,
It's horrible,
like dismembering, in the basement. What? God. Imagine if you're the police officer, just like,
huh?
They just come out going, no, I didn't get much. You listen to this.
But that's a really, really good one. Like quite a fun one, but
because the list so far
after Fred and Rosemary
is another Errol Morris documentary called Tabloid,
right?
Which is about this bonkers woman who is just obsessed with being famous. She was like a former Miss Wyoming. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Oh, so good. She's like. Watching her,
it's on Netflix, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah. But it's brilliant to watch because you just want to listen to her talk constantly because the stuff she comes out with is mad. But she was accused. She basically imprisoned like a Mormon guy and like forced him to have sex with her and stuff, all this different stuff. But it's just a fantastic documentary. Just her,
right?
It's still
a bit more lighthearted, that one.
Yeah,
I was going to say
tiny.
Something to start the new year off with a smile.
There's a good show on Channel 4 recently called The Murder Detectives, 3-part, and it's like actual police case in Bristol of a young lad who was murdered.
I love it.
And they were shooting it like a crime drama, but it was a documentary.
Yeah.
And it's so horrible to hear. Like, you heard the mobile phone call to the emergency service from this kid who was stabbed. And you see CCTV footage of him running down the street, and he's just he's just like, help, I've been stabbed. And then you hear him trail off, and they're like, where are you? And he's just like, fuck. And he just keeps saying, it's just like really disturbing. Right. And it's interesting to see how a real life case unfolds, and it does achieve some sense of resolution. Yeah. But like, for instance, like they lift up all the manhole covers and drains, like in all the streets in systematic fashion. And eventually they get to one where they find a knife, and they don't know whether it's the knife or not. It's just like, just to find it was amazing. Because I thought, you feel like you could hide something if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But I guess there's the dilemma where the police officer explains it. It's like, you could drive for miles and miles and dispose it in a place we'll never find it. Yeah. But then you're keeping it on yourself for longer. Yeah. So there's this gambit. It's like, ditch it sooner, so you're not found with it.
Cut your hands off.
Cut your hands off.
Cut your hands off.
With the knife.
Yeah.
You not thought this
You
through.
chop my hands off, I'll chop yours hands off.
Yeah, but then Central Bullet will find us.
I might hide it here if I was going to hide.
What'll work?
Like a weapon or something. Would they come here?
Why?
Yeah,
of course.
What?
If they were a suspect, do you think they would find any connection between me and this?
No. I know that. But if they came here, they're not going to go right. Studio, get all the floorboards up. We're looking for.
You better putting it somewhere that has no connection to you. Sure.
No, I think that they do have connection to you.
This is
in
not
your sock drawer.
Hide in plain sight. Hide in plain sight.
You know what you. This is what you do. You kill someone with a frozen leg of lamb. And then when the police officer comes around, you cook it for him and he eats it. That's an old Roald Dahl story, that.
Is it? I don't think they'd stay for dinner though, would they?
Yeah, but you could just be cooking it and they're like, oh, they don't know.
Just a big icicle.
Ice, yeah. Stab someone, melts.
Done.
Yeah. That's a Jonathan Creek, that. That is a Jonathan Creek. Locked room mystery. How did he die? But his trousers are wet.
Probably pissed up. No. Anyway,
I've tasted it.
There is something coming soon. It's an HBO drama about the O.J. Simpson story.
Right.
Because that hasn't been done enough. And it's called American Crime Story.
EDTA.
It does it really good. So, EDTA. So next up, what else is really good? Oh, we went to see Creed last night.
We did.
What do you think of it?
I thought it was excellent. And if you like Rocky movies, like I don't like boxing whatsoever. I never enjoyed the sport of boxing, but I really like boxing films.
Yeah,
I think boxing is probably the sport that is the most cinematic in a way. It's just like one guy versus another guy.
Yeah.
Really dramatic. Underdog, literal underdog.
Lots of contact.
Yeah. Like the Cinderella Man, the Fighter, Raging Bull, obviously.
Yeah.
It's made for really entertaining movies, and I really like the original Rocky movies. And if you like them, this is just going to push all your buttons.
Yeah.
It's by a guy called Ryan Coogler, quite a young guy, and he was a big fan of the Rocky films when he was growing up with his dad. And he kind of wrote this, I think, while at film school. It's like a bit of a fan film, like ideal project.
Yeah.
And it does like, saying fan film sounds derisory, but it's not. Like, it's almost like, right, here are the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
We'll give you Sylvester Stallone if you want.
Yeah.
And it's like, make the film that you would love to see as a Rocky fan.
Yeah.
And they're doing that. And I guess in the same way that a lot of the Marvel directors are Marvel fans. It's like, literally, do what you want.
Yeah.
And it manipulates you emotionally, because
Yeah.
it just gives you like little flashes of old films, and
I'm-
little references.
I'm not ashamed to say, I think we both were crying pretty much at the end.
I was crying. I cry in films all the time. There are moments. Sylvester Stallone's performance is brilliant.
Really?
It's touching.
Well, that's the thing, because Sylvester
He's a
Stallone
good
as Rocky.
actor.
Rocky,
No,
like
but he
Sylvester
is.
Stallone's Rocky
I've
is
watched
really, really
Expendables
good.
over Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
But that's but nobody comes out well in.
But the Rocky character, like Sylvester Stallone as Rocky, is really, really good. But unfortunately, he hasn't been able to find a way of making a good Rocky film with him in where he's not fighting. Like, I thought Rocky Balboa was poor because
he's
of all the
fighting.
fighting stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas this, he's used, and you get all that awesome stuff, like as him as the character being really lovely, like, you know, his sort of at the end of his life. But then he's just affecting somebody else's life, and they bring him in really well.
Yeah, and like Sylvester Stallone, like, has been, you know, Oscar winning.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. I know he didn't win for acting, but like he's a good actor. And I feel like at a point in his career, he obviously got offered a lot of like action roles.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of unfairly gets lumped in with Van Damme and Schwarzenegger in terms of acting ability. But he's better than that. Like Copland, he's brilliant in.
Yeah.
And in this movie, it's a really touching performance. When he talks about like Adrian, or when he talks about like, because he was the most. It's really weird seeing him go around Philadelphia, and obviously there's a statue of him in that town.
Yeah.
Everyone, wherever he goes, people call him
Everyone
Champ.
knows. Yeah.
And they let him into places, like the police will let him into cells to speak to people.
Yeah.
Like, he can go wherever he wants, but he's not incredibly wealthy.
Yeah.
He hasn't retained a lot of his money.
Yeah.
So there's something quite sad about the character. There's like really pathetic scenes
Yeah.
where he like goes and visits his dead wife.
Yeah.
But there's something
I
really
love that
charming
scene,
about him.
Yeah.
He plays it brilliantly, I think.
So I've only ever seen the first Rocky film.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Still like it.
and what you were sort of talking about, I'm like, Rocky 2 is Apollo Creed,
Yeah.
and then Rocky 3 was Mr. T.
yeah.
It's just like, why am I
Like
gonna
what
watch this
Chris was
film?
saying, there's a plot point for that.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Right.
him like getting enchanted by Hollywood, and he does these silly staged fights.
Yeah.
But I think partly also because I would lump them in with, you know, I know, Rambo and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not like that at all.
Although First Blood was a good film. Rambo 2 not so.
But it's like something about Rocky, like the scenes I love most. It's like it's just a good use of visuals, like motivational stuff and music.
Yeah.
Like when the music kicks in and you can hear like Rocky just like giving him like little pep talks.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel really, really good.
It's also like, it's a really beautiful looking film as well, and
Right.
like really well made. There's a really long scene, which is like an entire boxing match.
From backstage.
Yeah, from backstage.
Yeah.
And it's all one shot.
Right.
And it's
knockout,
brilliant. And
Okay.
it's really, really good.
And the guy
Like,
directing it, he's been touted as the director for Black Panther movie as well.
Okay.
He's got some serious credentials.
it's one of my favorite Rocky films, definitely. The only thing.
What about, okay.
And Michael B.
but that-
Jordan's great.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a glowing report. One of my favourite Rocky films.
Yes.
Put in context in the
But
wider
I
kind of
think it is though. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rocky's of its type and genre,
Yeah.
like brilliant, like
Yeah.
one of the best, like almost the benchmark for like inspirational sports story. Like Rocky
I would still
signifies
say
something.
that's still quite a niche.
Yeah, but like to be good within a genre, I don't think that's fine. I think it's great to be one of the best of a certain subgenre. It's hard to be one of the greatest movies of all time. But I think like being good within a certain field, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is it better than Force Awakens? I know that's a ridiculous thing to say.
Actually, I think it's a really good comparison there. Like it's a similar sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's going back to an old series and giving you little touches and little bursts of things you love that they know will press your buttons if you're a fan of those movies. You grow up watching them. like showing you a little like.
So it's not reinventing the wheel or anything, but it's kind of
delivering it's like a modernisation of that.
Yeah.
Like I think in a similar way to say The Force Awakens is just New Hope, it'd be unfair to say this is just like an old Rocky movie.
Yeah, it's a really good evolution.
It's a contemporization of that formula.
The only thing that like I think is awful about it is for some reason they've decided to use real boxers, and the main boxer who he fights over towards the end is a Liverpudlian guy,
right?
And he's just terrible. He's not very good at acting. And I think like we said, like there's a couple of scenes actually. There's one bit.
I think he's okay in some scenes.
Yeah.
I think there's some people like giggling a bit because he has got for a really big dude, he's got a really high pitched Scouse accent.
And like a lot of the film takes place is set in like Goodison Park.
Yeah.
It's like Rocky's like a huge Everton fan, so for some reason
is he?
Sylvester Stallone, not the character.
Sylvester Stallone,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Rocky doesn't know what Everton is.
No.
But a lot of it's set in Goodison Park. So for us, I guess that's kind of weird for an American audience. It's probably they wouldn't even bat an eyelid at it, and they probably wouldn't think that he's terrible either.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, I think here, knowing that he's a real boxer and
maybe
hearing
they
that
think
accent,
like Goodison Park is like similar to Madison Square Gardens
they
or
must
something.
do,
Like that.
And to be honest, at the end, once after the exterior shot, it could be Madison Square Garden. It's just like
it's got lots like tighter,
yeah. But like when it's in the ring,
is that where the fight takes place at Goodison Park?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is kind of weird. It's weird for
but
us.
I think it's weirder for us.
Yeah, maybe.
Because for Americans, it's like a big sports venue in the UK.
Yeah.
You know, and the fights, like UFC takes place at, like, there's been boxing fights at Manchester City Stadium and stuff.
I guess, like, I was thinking about this on the way home. Like, I guess it lends, like, a bit of credibility to it, but I don't care about that. Like, I guess maybe it gets, like, a lot of the boxing, like, people who are really into boxing to come watch it because they want to watch, like, their favourite boxers do it.
But I don't follow boxing that closely, but is that guy pound for pound the number one boxer in the world? Because if he's not, whatever credibility it adds is for the people who like boxing, surely pitching him as the number one boxer in the world undermines it if he's not. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and also
what it adds to those audience takes away.
And also I think like Michael B. Jordan's not a boxer. Like he's playing one. Get another.
You can
actor
tell he's not a boxer because he's got a better body than the boxers.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
he's amazing.
Like even the guy who won the heavyweight championship recently, he's not like super ripped and like what you Hollywood would think is a boxer. It's just like power, probably.
But he can punch through a brick wall.
And he's rough. But Michael B. Jordan, like he's such a likable actor.
Yeah.
So I know him more from we watched Friday Night Lights because your recommendation. He's in the later seasons of that as a young kid. Yeah. And he's in Fantastic Four. Yeah. So I'm really happy.
The first series of The Wire.
Yeah, I'm really happy he made this film because he's a really easy actor to root for.
Yeah. No, definitely. But that's really, really good anyway. On to some horrendous stuff, guys, after the stupendous.
Yes.
Oculus Rift announced yesterday it's going to be $599.
£499.
£499.
Excluding the little hand controllers.
The hand controllers, yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, when I first saw it, I thought, I don't actually think it's that much. But then, you don't get the hand controllers, and as you pointed out, you've got to hook it up to something, man.
Yeah. Well, so after the initial announce, they said that they'll do a PC bundle.
Yeah.
For, I think it was like $1,350.
Okay.
And that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Chances are you already own a PC. Well, if you're in the market for an Oculus, chances are you.
Right now, I completely agree. Also, it depends at what point it's going to become.
Work with Xbox One, won't it? They announced the partnership, didn't they, a while back?
Well, it's got an Xbox One controller.
Yeah, it works with the controller, but I don't know if it's going to work the other way around. I'm not sure.
Oh, no, the partnership is for an Xbox One controller.
Yeah.
So you do get an Xbox One controller with a remote.
Bargain.
And the headset.
But what generally, what did people think it was going to cost?
It's high.
Palmer Luckey said it was going to be about $350.
I think that is the problem in all of this. It's not that it costs $600. It's because he said, whenever it was, it'll cost around the same price as the dev kit, which is $350.
Right, okay.
And so it's almost double that. And I think that's what people are taking umbrage against.
You should never have said that.
No. And he's come out and has since said, we kind of screwed up there.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. It's like proper high-end tech. It's doing stuff that nothing else does right now. Of course it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
They'll chip away.
You look how much 4K TVs were, I don't know, even a year ago, and now you can get them for less than £500.
OLED is coming down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Toasters. Dirt cheap now, toasters.
I don't think they've changed much.
Breville pie makers are still high. Do you remember Breville pie makers?
My friend and his dad have the patent in, like, they're the only ones that can sell Breville pie makers in Wales. The UK.
In the UK?
Yeah.
Well, they've got distribution rights.
They have.
They got that in writing? Because I'd want to see that.
Yeah.
That's by Deborah Meaden.
What's a pie maker?
You can make a pie, man. You get
Well,
a pie.
Imagine the Breville toasting machine.
Yes.
It's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? Where you open it up.
So you get a pie crust.
Right.
You put that in it.
So like rolled out pastry?
Yeah, you can do rolled pastry, but you can buy them as well. So you put that in.
Yeah.
You can fill it with whatever you want.
Right.
Put the top in the thing, bring it down. In like 10 minutes, you got a pie.
It's a ridiculous idea.
Well, not if you like pies,
Not
mate.
if you like pies.
Well, but I think
Do you know how much money I spend on pies?
The fact is that it's not entered my consciousness.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of convenience foods.
That looks awesome.
I'm showing Alex pictures of... look, you put an egg in a pie.
I like the rope edge crimping. That's nice.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
That looks like a professional
I used to
pie.
think that with like Breville toasty makers. You know, like you just have to butter the outside of the bread, and it comes out with that clamshell design.
Yeah.
So it almost looks like a toasty for the bathroom.
Yeah.
You lose a lot of like toasty space, I think.
What would you put in?
Yeah, but like, because we've got like a posh toaster at home, right?
Okay.
But we've also got one of the Breville ones.
Explain posh toaster.
Well, like you get like it's like a cafe press, I guess.
Oh,
so it doesn't kind of seal the edges.
You can do
But
a
that's my
range of
favourite bit.
You can do a range of paninis, focaccia.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I want it sealed and have that hard edge around the edge, like you just nibble it off. That's my favourite
You've really
bit.
given insight into your home life here. Like you put a focaccia on, not using the downstairs toilet because it's just been neatly crimped the toilet roll.
But really, I come from a background of like old school Breville toasters and Finder's crispy pancakes. We were talking about those the other day.
I've not thought about them for
That
a
was
long,
my
long
staple as a diet as a kid.
What would you put in your ultimate pie?
Oh gosh,
lovely.
I'm a big fan of a steak and ale pie. Like I do like that.
So you mean you could pick your own? Pick like really good steak and really nice ale.
Like craft beer.
Yeah.
What a bell end, and then put it in that thing.
Yeah.
Spend a fortune on the insides.
In the market in Blackburn, where I come from, they do something called butter pie. It's just butter. Butter. Well, it's actually potatoes and butter.
Okay, right.
I don't know what I'd like. Sausages.
I don't know. I think,
Why would you want
chocolate sausages? I love sausages.
I'd like to put
But why in a pie?
Okay, you've put me on the spot. And pies have been around for hundreds of years. I reckon like they've probably worked out the best ones.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come up with something new.
Eggs, black pudding, beans, sausages.
Bacon.
An all-day breakfast.
All day breakfast in a pie.
Those all-day breakfasts you can get in a tin.
Oh, they're horrible. Yeah. But are you going to buy an Oculus Rift?
I think I forgot we were even speaking about
that. He said on Palmer Lucky said on Reddit yesterday that they're not making any money from the Rift by having it that much money.
Yeah, because he's already got that sweet Facebook money. You don't care.
Yeah, but at the same time, like he's saying, like at that price, they're not making any money. Like that. Everyone's saying, "Oh, well, that's good then." Well, no, that's really bad because I can't afford that, but I want to buy one. So that means I'm gonna have to wait for ages for it to come down because they have to invent another way of making the Rift.
Well, no, but
not necessarily.
The components will come down in price.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
the same
like
with PlayStation 4.
Yeah, like
Okay,
it becomes cheaper to like make them. It'll happen in PS4 and like
the Blu-ray was horrendously expensive when PS3 came out, which is why it costs what it costs.
Also, I maybe this is bullshit. But if like VR becomes a thing and other people start investing and stuff, they'll start making more of these types of components. That'll drive down the price.
That's fair
I guess.
Yeah.
That work? I'm going to say that works.
It will definitely come down in price. Also, let's see what happens with Morpheus.
Yeah.
And obviously that...
PlayStation VR, you mean?
Sorry, yes, PlayStation VR.
Bloody Project Natal.
This is like... Okay, well, that's fine now. All right. I'm not going to... There's more quotes from him, but to be honest.
Okay.
I think we've nailed it, guys.
Good.
What else is rubbish?
The only other thing that I was going to mention was Sherlock, which has been a show that I have loved since it started. I watched the latest episode this week with my wife, and I was so close to just switching off.
Yep.
Which for...
I've switched off a couple of Sherlock episodes.
Right. But that's a shame because first two series were amazing. And then...
I think those weaker episodes now look much better in retrospect.
Season 3, I actually thought as a whole was okay. I thought as individual episodes, it didn't work at all. But when it all pulled together, I was like, okay, I kind of see what you're doing here. But this one-off, I thought was an absolute mess. I thought it was all over the place.
It was the case of
it was confusing.
The case of the missing case.
Yeah.
Like, it's so strange. It's become... I think it started off as a really clear premise.
Yeah.
Let's do a modern day adaptation of Sherlock Holmes. He'll have a case each episode, 90 minutes,
Yeah.
and that's it. And brilliant. We'll weave in like modern London in ways that we can, update all Victorian stories in ways that we can.
Like Monster of the Week episodes that are almost like self-contained cases, but then there is like a little arc as well.
But I'm more than happy for them like to set up Moriarty in little episodes and obviously build on their relationship, make them closer.
Yeah.
But I feel like they try to now like feed it into this much bigger mythology, and this episode almost like blows their own rules, which was like be a modern adaptation. They just go back through time. They do all the bits they kind of want to do. The actual case, I think this is the most annoying. Like you spend 40, 50 minutes, have this case outlined for you, and then they just don't care. So I've wasted 50 minutes of my time watching a case that is flimsy as hell.
Well, it finished, and both me and my wife looked at each other and went, "What was that about?"
I think it just got so obsessed by its own like lore and stuff, like trying to. Nothing happens in it. No, it's actually a pointless episode. You get to the end and you go, nothing actually happened of note. The mission. I would have been happy. Just don't try and tie it in like Inception style. Just have it. Have it as a 90-minute one-off Victorian setting. I'll just go with you for 90 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm so there, and just do a really good spooky supernatural mystery that turns out to have a real life like very brilliant resolution. But the resolution that all suffragettes or women are murderers, which is weird.
The whole thing was weird.
Like when it turned out, like all the way through, they were like, there's like they dropped like the mention of suffragettes and the women's right to vote, and it turns out that all the murders throughout the episode are being conducted by women, part of the secret cabal. So what's the message there? Are all suffragettes killers? But
it's got to a point now where when the next full season happens, I'm like, I don't know if I can be bothered anymore.
I felt like that after the
criminal.
I felt like that after the wedding episode, because the wedding episode is terrible anyway, but it's also terrible in a way because you get these snapshots of these cases that they've done. Every single one of those little snapshots. I know it's easy to make 30 seconds and a title of the case seem really interesting. All of those were better than everything.
Well, this is there's a late on Sherlock Holmes story called The Musgrave Ritual, and in that there's this kind of throwaway line about one of those cases in the style of that episode, where Holmes and Watson talk about the case of Ricoletti and the Abominable Bride and his bride or something, and they've seized upon that and go, let's elaborate that into let's flesh it out and like explore that case. Let's give it something, which obviously Conan Doyle never did. And they just blow it.
And I think they just don't feel that the talent that is involved with that program, and you just think that's insane that it could have gone that far off the boil in such a short space of time.
And like the actual resolution, the problem solving, what was happening in the crime that no one could understand. Pretty obvious. Like, oh, right. You watch it and go, is that it?
Well, that's it. Like I remember in the early seasons when you had some of the reveals, and it was just like, oh, that's really smart, that's clever, and
then there was some kind of
the
like
gas
final
on the hand of the
confrontation.
Baskervilles. Was it like funny gas?
Like hallucinogenic gas.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
hallucinogenic gas is never a good explanation.
I've said it before.
It's very Scooby-Doo.
I've said it before and I said it again. It's just a shit Jonathan Creek. That's what Sherlock is. Have we got any feedback?
We got 3 pieces. I'll go first. This is from a friend of the show, Ross Miller. It says, I'm a huge Alien Ridley Scott fan, but I can't get on board with the new trilogy. One of my personal highlights of 2015 was seeing the original movie on the big screen, thanks to IGN. But even though I enjoyed Prometheus, I can't stop wondering what Blomkamp's vision of the story would have been. Does the upcoming movie excite you, or would you rather see Sharlto Copley trying to escape the xenomorph?
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'm not excited by it.
No, I'm not excited by it.
But I think that's a good thing. I'm going in with such low expectations. I went to Prometheus with such high expectations that there's no way it could have hit.
I had quite low expectations, and it didn't even hit those.
So I have quite low expectations of anything alien related now. So anything that's remotely good, I'll like. What have you got? That looks really long.
I'm just going to read it out quickly. So, obviously, end of the year, we recapped our favourite things of the year. This is from regular listener, Francis Jackson, who's written in with his favourite games. His are 5, Xenoblade Chronicles 10, or X. I see what I did there. I read it as a number because...
You're smart.
No, because I speak Latin. Number 4, Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. Number 3, Batman Arkham Knight. Number 2, Bloodborne. Number 1, Witcher 3. This is game of the year. Not only is it my game of the year, but also one of my favourite games ever, from story to graphics to gameplay. Everything about it is beautifully crafted. It also has some of the best writing and voice acting of any open world game I have ever played.
Interesting that Batman is ranked higher than Metal Gear.
Yeah, I'd never.
It's more fun in some ways.
I never put a lot of time into Batman.
It's more focused.
Yeah.
But the ending is completely unrewarding unless you go for the true ending. That's not spoilery, I don't think.
Also, it's fascinating how much we're concerned about spoilers all the time now.
Yeah. I know, it's painful.
It never used to be like this.
No.
Never used to be like this.
Also, Francis Jackson. Is this a Francis Jackson
the same guy.
show?
Yeah.
Same guy.
Hell yeah.
He wrote in with his best films as well.
He loves ranking stuff, this guy.
Okay, number 5, The Martian. Number 4, John Wick, which I still haven't seen.
I see. I've not seen The Martian, but I want to.
John
Wick's a great film.
Yeah. Number 3, Ex Machina.
Great film.
Number 2, Mad Max Fury Road.
Still not seen it.
Oh, haven't you?
No.
It's really good. And number 1, Whiplash, which is also my number 1 as well. So well done, Francis. Well done to you.
Whiplash your favourite film?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Of last year. I was looking at everything else and I thought, that is the one that, I've just really enjoyed the most.
That is the one that is my favourite.
My favourite film. If you have anything you want to write in, you can do it. IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com, and we shall see you next week.
Bye-bye.